Look, I'm a bald-bearded white guy who wears flannel. Of course you're going to talk about craft brewing.
What do animals think about us when we change our clothes?
Yes, I go to church every Sunday, full of leather and tight pants. Yay, sports! Jack Black is the greatest actor of our generation. The world is what you make it, full of fantasies and realities. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Anything But Nothing, the podcast where we talk about anything, and it means nothing, but it means something to me. I'm your host, David Connolly, also known as Fenrirock, and today, yes, we are going something over that's near and dear to my heart, craft brewing, because, as I stated, I fit the stereotype to the T. And also, I live in California again, which is one of the meccas for craft brewing. We have, actually, honestly, I think we're one of the states who started it, because Sierra Nevada started here, and they're one of the original craft breweries. So, I say we have a little bit of a claim to fame there. But before we jump into the actual topic, we have some things I want to discuss here as well. Obviously, this past week has been brutal when it comes to celebrity deaths. For those who were around in 2016, I hope everyone watching this was alive in 20. If you're under the age of born in 2016, please turn this off and ask your parents how you got access to my videos. But that being said, back in 2016, a couple years around that time, we had tons of celebrity deaths, and this year, especially this past week, has been one of those times. Two of them hit. One of them, I acknowledge what they've done, but they've also done some things that made them unacknowledgeable in my book. But, the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, that one hit me near and dear to my heart, because me and my friends bonded over him. My dad and I thankfully got to see Ozzy back in 2010 with him when he went reunited with Black Sabbath again, and thankfully we also got to see Black Sabbath with Dio a couple years before when they were with Heaven and Hell. That was awesome as well. So I'm glad I got to experience him live before he really started to decline. That was right before, actually, that's right around before he started to decline, and I'm glad I got to see that. And it sucks. It's sad. I bonded with many people over Ozzy Osbourne, and he's gone. We knew it was coming. Just the fact it happened just under 2 weeks from his farewell show. It's pretty poetic if you think about it. But hey, he lived a long life, much longer than anyone thought he had business living. And he touched the hearts of millions and billions and jillions and billions, or a little bit. I'm counting the demons. There's lots of demons. Well, I'll have another video going tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to be topping just not a nice little light-hearted ranking video going over my top 10 Ozzy Osbourne songs. Not Black Sabbath. I'm not including Black Sabbath. I might say that for a different video, but this is going to be top 10 Ozzy Osbourne songs. So if you're watching this on the day this comes out, or listening to this on the day it comes out, stay tuned for that. The podcast video is going to be coming out probably later this week, but the audio version is coming out later today of me recording this. I'm a little bit behind because work's been crazy again, and Saturday sucked. I wanted to record this Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. I didn't get a chance to do that, so I'm recording this day of. Go figure. Also, other than passing, if you guys watched FCU News today or in the past, we also lost Alex the Great. He was a therapy bunny. I got the pleasure of meeting the therapy bunny with the San Jose Barracuda. He's more known for being over at the San Francisco Giants, but I met him with the San Jose Barracuda. That bunny was adorable. May he rest in peace. He lived a long life for a rabbit. He passed away due to complications, in surgery from cancer. I believe they said it was anesthesia, and it didn't go very well. Kind of like that one gorilla who passed away not too long ago. Or was it a gorilla? There's another guy. Yeah, they were helping a gorilla, and the same thing happened to the poor gorilla, where it died in anesthesia. Maybe people who are doing veterinary should probably look into anesthesia for animals. I'm just saying, because I think this actually happens quite a lot. But I digress. At least they're trying. And I'm pretty sure if you die during anesthesia, I don't think you feel anything. I could be very wrong about that. But if I was going to go, I'd rather go under. But I'd rather not go at all. But I digress. Let's go ahead and jump onto the topic, which is much, much more lighthearted. Before we jump into my favorites, this is a ranking. I forgot exactly. I believe it's 5. I believe I got down to the top 5. Yes, the top 5. Before we get to the top 5, I want to go over some honorable mentions. Because, like I said, there's tons of craft brewings in California. I haven't even tried all of them. And there's some I'm not even going to mention on here because, like I said, there's far too many. And for the most part, they're all pretty damn good. We even have some local here in Morgan Hill. But, they're not well known yet, and they're still kind of starting up. And they'll get their own love in the future. Maybe I'll go top 10 or top 5 local craft breweries. Get a little more precise to me. But we're gonna start the honorable mentions off with Anchor Steam. They're an honorable mention for the only simple fact is they technically do not exist right now. Technically, they exist, but you can't buy them because, for those who don't know, one, they're a San Francisco staple. They've been there forever, and they've sadly closed the shops down about a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer ago. I've lost all passage of time because how freaking years have been going by recently, but they closed down after the parent company who owned them just unceremoniously just shut them down and gave everyone a kind of a small time frame to get there, get when you can. Thankfully, I got there about a week before they closed down. Was able to pick up some beers. I had my box, my last Anchor Steam beer, their standard Steam beer, and I kept the box. We drank those. They were delicious. It's a great, easy drinking beer. The standard. They also have other beers as well, but we're not going over full rosters here. It's also just honorable mention, but they deserve some love. And thankfully, they're eventually going to be coming back. It's just don't know how long it's going to be because they think we got purchased up, and they ran into a snag because when they were renovating the site to bring it back to opening, they found out the storage containers underground were not very clean, to put it lightly. Apparently they cracked them open and made a huge smell, like it smelled like just opened up a sewer, and I haven't seen an update in a while. They talked about apparently that job has been done. But the last update I saw, in fact, let's see if there's any updates as of while I'm recording this, because I want them to open up. It was a great local spot. Well, not local, but it was a great spot up in San Francisco to go visit, chill, eat some food, and just relax in the lovely weather of San Francisco at a beautiful old building. And because it's in a historic, I forgot which building it is historically. I don't think it's an old jail. It's an old cool building. It's freaking big, but let's just see if there is any new Anchor Steam news. Let's see. Their last Facebook post was all the way last year. So it's been about a year and a half since they closed down. I was right in my son because I think it was November. No, because it was during the baseball season, I believe. Yeah, their last post on Instagram was. I guess I got signed out of all my socials on this laptop. I don't use this laptop that much. I need to use it a little bit more. But their last posts were a while ago. Twitter. Because they don't even use the Twitter anymore. The last post on Twitter was 2017. But I can't wait for them to come back. I'm sad they're still not around. It's going to be a cool spot to go to once it's reopened. But I digress. Let's see. Anything new here? The last Reddit article was it still says permanently closed on here. But they got bought. They're going to be coming back. But there's an article. Oh, there's an article from last week. Okay, here we go. Billionaire who... Oh, hey, go away, little pop-ups. Go away. Okay, we actually have some news here. Billionaire who promised to save San Francisco historic Anchor Brewing has gone radio... Oh, it's not... That's not a good headline. More than a year after the sale to Chobani's Hamdi Ulukaya... I'm sorry if I butchered that. It's unclear what's going on with America's oldest craft brewery yet, because it's been there forever. It's old as hell. That's a cool shot of the building. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might just be an old factory. The building across the street where they brew, not the building you buy the beer in. Let's see. In February, Laura Svek sent a hope-filled text to her regulars at the Parkside. I'll read through this real quick. I'll save you guys the trouble. Of course, looking through this article, people have already freaking graffitied up the building. Not surprising, but still sad to see. Okay, so basically the article is just talking about how really nothing's happened, but there was some things early in the year where people think maybe it'd be back up by the summer. That, of course, didn't actually end up happening. My sign is not straight. But I digress. So, my first honorable mention, taking up a good portion of the video, was Anchor Steam Brewing. So next up, we have one I'm still not super familiar with. I've only been to once. I've had their beer a couple times, but I've only been there one time because it's very far away from my house. North Coast Brewing out of Fort Bragg, California. I'll keep this one, short. I'm just not too familiar with them. It's a beautiful location, obviously, because Fort Bragg is amazing. It's about 5 hours north from here, and it's just along the northern coast of California. Not too far before you get to like the Eureka area, getting kind of close to the Oregon border, but it's a beautiful place. I love it up there. I need to go up there again. It's been a few years since I went there. Actually, I think it's been like freaking 4 years already since I was last up there. You need to go up again. They had clam chowder fries, basically where they dehydrated clam chowder enough where it wasn't soupy. It was just basically like a covering, and they covered fries with it, and it was amazing. Their food was really good there. The beer is cool. They're the ones who make that Rasputin Stout, which is phenomenal. They have another couple of the beers. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with them. They have a Narwhal one, which is I think that's also a stout. I could be wrong. I don't drink them that much, but when I drink them, I enjoy them, so they deserve an honorable mention. The next one, of course, is a newer comer who is, up and coming. They've only been around for a couple years now, and they're located in the place we'll be returning to in this list, not for a while, though. Paso Robles Brewing. Paso Robles, how you want to pronounce it? El Paso de Robles, if you want to go super technical. Paso Robles Brewing Company. They're located in, Paso Robles. They actually also just opened up a new location up in, not Pismo, the place between Pismo and Paso. I'm drawing a blank. I remember when I was looking through the Instagram. San Luis Obispo. They opened a new spot in San Luis Obispo. I'm excited to go check that one out. It's a little bit farther. I'm not done reading you, Mr. Kindle. Do not turn off on me. They're located down there, but the main one I go to is one in Paso Robles, obviously, because that's the first one that opened up. They're a cool little spot. I loved all the beer I've tried with them so far. Their West Coast IPA is superb. The food at the restaurant they have there is, so good, because they have a bratwurst corn dog. Need I say more? But let's jump into the rankings proper, shall we? First up, at the bottom of my list, but still nowhere near the bottom of my heart, we have Lagunitas. People know Lagunitas. They're the one with the dog as the logo. They have a lot of imagery, so to speak, in their social medias and stuff like that. They're known, you dig into the history of them. It's a little funny. They almost didn't exist because due to their history. I'll let you do the owners. I don't want to get in trouble talking about their history on here, possibly. They got busted for smuggling pot and stuff. They're doing a business of selling pot, and they got busted, and so they almost didn't exist. But hey, here we are with one of the biggest name in the local brewery. They're also located on the East Coast. Same thing with Sierra Nevada, actually. They're both in North Carolina. I don't care about that. I care about the ones here in California. They're located over in Petaluma, California, one of my favorite cities to visit, because in Petaluma is also home up to the Brewster's Beer Garden, which is one of my favorite beer gardens to visit because it's in Petaluma. They have amazing duck fat fries and food. They have friendly staff. It's a huge location. It's just cool. It's also, Petaluma is a beautiful city. They have an old architecture, old, hotel, the Hotel Petaluma with the old oyster bar downstairs. If you ever find yourself in Petaluma, I highly recommend checking that spot out. But, they're known mainly for their IPA. Their IPA, to me, is the easiest drinking IPA out there. If you're trying to get somebody into drinking IPAs, that is where you have them start, because it doesn't have too much funk. Actually, if it has any funk at all, and it's just nice, easy drinking. But they have a vast variety of different types of beer. I just know them for their IPAs, because I drink IPAs. Again, bald bearded white guy wearing flannel. I like IPAs, and it's a cool location too. Like the spot it's in is next to the brewery over in Petaluma. I believe so, because they have the whole building there too. It's a cool little, their own little beer garden with a whole concert stage out there as well. My only problem I really have with them is getting there. While I do love Petaluma, to get there from where I live, you need to drive there, obviously. It's about a 3-hour drive, hopefully. Actually, if there was no traffic, it'd probably be about an 1.5 to 2-hour drive. But you have to go through the heart of the worst Bay Area traffic, over on the Oakland side. For those who are from here or ever driven through here, you know about the nightmares of that exchange and everything in that section. You must drive through there to get to Petaluma, and it is not a pleasant experience. And on top of that, after even dealing with that long, terrible drive, you then have to deal with their terrible parking. There's basically no parking there. You have to hope you get lucky, or you just Uber there from your hotel if you're staying there at a hotel, or you just hope you get lucky. There's not very much parking. It's a very limited. It's a business parking style they have a full ass restaurant there as well. So parking sucks, but it's worth getting there. A couple years ago when we went there, they went through renovations. They were still renovating last time I was there, so I haven't been there since they did the renovations. So I need to go back there again soon. It's been a couple years since we went up there, and they had banh mi tacos, and those were life changing. I hope they bring those back. I really, really enjoyed those. Lagunitas also has one of the best, if not the best. I don't know if you ever tried it. Hop water. Hop water is basically water. It tastes like beer, but no alcohol, and it's delicious. I love that stuff. It's very refreshing. But yeah, it says the IPA is the best IPA, one of the best easy drinking IPAs you can get. Just check them out. If you never tried Lagunitas, I highly recommend Lagunitas. Jumping down to a more recent one for me, one that's much closer and in an equally beautiful location. Well, the one I will go to, because I believe the main one is in San Rafael, I believe, somewhere up there, around there. It's Dust Bowl Brewing. The one for me that's closest to me is located over in Monterey, California. Another one of my favorite places to visit. Kind of easy to notice. It's kind of funny to notice that my favorite places to visit in California also coincide with breweries. Now, granted, these places were favorites to visit for me before I could drink, other than Petaluma. I didn't really go to Petaluma that much before I could drink, obviously, because other than that, I had nothing to do there. But I digress. Over in Monterey, California, we have Dust Bowl Brewing. Now, they have an exact opposite issue from Lagunitas, where there is plenty of parking. Because the building they took over, if you ever been to Monterey, and you haven't been there in a while, there used to be the old kayak, rental spot out by the wharf. The old boardwalk wharf thingy out there that with all the old shops and stuff, the tourist trap of Monterey. It's a cool, I still like going there because it's the best place to do clam chowder tasting because it's delicious. I love clam chowder, as we discussed in this video already. But they're next to there, so either you park in the restaurant's parking lot itself, which I believe was free parking, or if you have to, you park in the wharf parking, which you have to pay for, but there's plenty of it. I believe also I believe they value the parking. I don't take me at my word on that one. I'm not 100% sure. So parking's not an issue. Obviously, driving to Monterey, there can be traffic, but it's much closer for me. If I could just drive straight there, it would only take me like 30 minutes to get there because it's directly that way, but there's a hill in the way. Kind of hard to just drive through a hill. But Elon, if you want to start building tunnels, build us tunnels in the hills so we get to Santa Cruz and Monterey faster. That will help us instead of just building a tunnel system in freaking Vegas for some reason. Sorry. We had Dust Bowl. They're newer to me. I've only been, I visited them for the first time actually back in February because we went there after we went to the Monterey Bay Aquarium for the first time in a long ass time as well. Member again there. I love it there. Monterey Bay Aquarium, love you. But I went there for the first time, tried everything, and I love everything I've tried so far. They have a huge selection of beers. Again, IPA. They have a peach IPA. Oh man, it's so good. But let's see, I'm gonna go with my notes I have here. Obviously, newest addition to my rotation. They're nearest to me. They're over in Monterey. Parking, wide selection. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Dump Truck of the Gods is something you're gonna learn about me during this video or audio, whatever version you're listening to and or watching. I love the funk. I love a funky beer. I love me a good triple IPA, and the Dump Truck of the Gods from Dust Bowl is one of the best triple IPAs I've ever had. It's got that funk, and I adore it. Next up is one that's near and dear to my heart, and it's one of the ones I have been visiting actually pretty much my entire life because we've mentioned them once in this video. They've one of the OGs. They've been around forever in California. Up in Chico, California, we have Sierra Nevada, my original first love, my first favorite beer. And actually, when I turned 21, the Pale Ale from Sierra Nevada was the first beer I purchased on my 21st. In fact, went to Walmart at midnight and bought myself a 6-pack. And then me and the curator drank it. And it was... I actually still have my first bottle. My first bottle of beer when I turned 21. I still have that bottle. I kept it because I'm sentimental like that. And... yeah, they're not my favorite anymore. I still love them. I have deep ties up to Chico and Oroville, California. I have family up there. And I love going up there. There isn't too much, even though actually there's a lot more now because Chico is turning into basically a Bay Area town up there because it's a college town, but it's changed a lot recently, and I love going up there. I'm sure it's hot, but I can deal with hot. It's a dry heat. I can deal with dry heat. It's when it gets humid and nasty is when I start to suffer because then I can't breathe. But I love Sierra Nevada. Been visiting. Yes, I said here's my notes again. They're located up in Chico. I got family in Chico and Oroville. Love going up there. I've been going there long before I could drink because they have a restaurant at the brewery, and the restaurant is fan freaking tastic. Great variety of food for anyone who eats vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, basically any food you want to eat, they will have it there. It's not going where it's been a staple forever for me. While they're not my favorite, I drink them quite a lot. I got a new triple IPA. No, not new. They've been around for a while. The Hoptium triple IPA. It has the cool like steampunk look of dude with a hop for a head. That beer got the funk. Almost too funk. It's strong funky, but I like my funk. There's one thing he says, like one beer we're talking about the funk. I actually tried to add Brewster's in Petaluma. It's Doomsday Protocol. Can never find it anywhere. I've looked it up, and I can never find it, and it makes me sad because I love that beer. It's probably actually my favorite beer I've ever tried, but can never find it other than a Brewster's. Even Total Wine doesn't have it. Even their website doesn't have it, so maybe they don't make it anymore. That breaks my heart. Also, they are my dad's favorite brewery. He used to collect. He doesn't do it anymore, but for a long time, he'd be collecting the Bigfoot. I have to cough real quick. Like I was saying before my body rudely interrupted me, my dad used to collect the Bigfoot every year, because every year they have the little on the cap, they have the different years. And well, he used to collect them all. He still has a bunch of them. I'm pretty sure they're not drinkable anymore, but he loves them. I'm indifferent to them. I like stouts. I love me some Guinness. Stout's not my go-to, but I'll drink a good stout. I love them. But gonna keep moving on. After Sierra Nevada, we have another somewhat newcomer. There's a place I heard of before I went there, and one day we went to the Hornet, the aircraft carrier over in the Alameda County. I have a video. I think I've talked about the Hornet, my history with the Hornet. It's a very deep in history. I don't feel like crying right now, so I'm not going to talk about it. But we visited there earlier this year, and we finally checked out Humble Sea Brewing. We actually found that there on accident because we were just driving around checking out, because a ton of breweries over there, a ton of wineries and distilleries and everything. We haven't even scratched the surface. I love the Alameda. It's so freaking sweet over there. But we went to Humble Sea Brewing, and they have quickly become one of my favorite. I mean, they're the runner-up to my favorite, and I've only been going there for less than a year. But Humble Sea Brewing, man, that place is sick. I love the funk. They have the funk, including they actually have a beer that has the funk in it to make it funkier, and it's a green beer, and it's freaking amazing. I love the imagery of them too. They have a very laid back stuff. I mean, their main IPA that people drink from them, that they made them famous, is Socks and Sandals, and it's just they're funny. It makes you think of the Big Lebowski, which is intentional, and I love everything about them. Like I said, they're relatively new, but they've been taking the world by storm. They started over by Santa Cruz. They actually have locations all over the place. Started over in Santa Cruz. They originally almost didn't get to start because, money issues. They were struggling to open up, but they got through it. They persevered, and now they're literally open everywhere. They're open, obviously, in Alameda. They're open in Santa Cruz, the town up in the hills by Santa Cruz. I can't think of the name of it right now. And they're also opened up one over in San Francisco on Pier 39. We actually visited there last month for my dad's birthday over on Pier 39, and it was awesome. I don't remember the building they took over from, the spot in Pier 39, but they took over from them, and they have a deal with the local frickin' taqueria on the pier, which is also a new taqueria. They haven't been there that long either. So you can order the food from them, they bring it down to you at the brewery, and it was a little expensive for a taqueria, but they were good, and it's so good. I love them, and I will keep going to them, and I will keep buying them, and they're popping up on taps everywhere, including we have the place here called the Running Shop here in Morgan Hill. They have them on tap there. Even our freaking movie theater has their cans in the theater, so you get a can of Socks and Sandals while watching a movie. That's what we did. We went and saw Superman. It was awesome, and I love them. And I noticed on my notes, I said that I love the funk. They don't just got the funk, they got that stank. Because I love them. They also, I bought another paraphernalia item from them when I was in Alameda. They partnered with another company in Santa Cruz, which is on a different type of stank. And last but not least, I told you we'd be coming back here. We're back to Paso Robles, El Paso de Robles, California. My favorite brewery of all time, reigning champion, And you see me wear if you watch the main channel at all, you've seen me wear their hats many, 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 many times. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't end up wearing one of the hats right now. Hindsight's 2020. Firestone Brewery. A lot of people think they're called by the different name. Doesn't help that they have two different newsletters where you can sign up for the Firestone Brewing Company newsletter or the 805 newsletter. Yes, people think they're called 805. They're called Firestone. But for the most part, you say 805, people know what you're talking about. I'm going to go through my notes because they are by far and away the most extensive of my notes. Paso Robles is my home away from home. I've filmed videos in Paso. I've filmed 2 reviews while in there. I love it up there. I'm part of a distillery up there. I go there every couple months to go pick up my order of rums, whiskeys, brandies, everything. We usually stay a night up there, go to many restaurants they have in the area. The downtown square, which is literally a square. Pappy McGregor's, the Irish pub up there. Many, many restaurants. We love it there so damn much. And one of the mainstays we always go to when we're there, we always make a stop at Firestone. We head over to the gift shop they have there, which is separate from the brewery itself, because the brewery also has a restaurant which has great food as well. But they're not my favorite restaurant, but we like going there. They have good burgers. They have damn good burgers. We love the food there too, but it's not my favorite restaurant. Their Pappy's is still probably my favorite restaurant up there. But they also have Bubba's Barbecue. So good. But they have a separate gift shop from the brewery, which is just up. It's like not even half a mile away from the brewery. It's just up the street a little bit. It's on the same road. You literally cannot miss it. That Firestone basically owns that road. But we always make a stop to the merch area because check out if they have any different merch. I almost always leave with a new hat. Again, bald. And we also check the beer fridge. See if there's any different kind of beers. And we almost always leave with something. We make sure we buy my mom her giant, because 805 is her favorite beer. We buy her giant 40-ounce 805 bottle because they just bottle giant-ass 805s. And it's freaking hilarious. But we buy many things. They don't have my favorite IPAs, but their IPAs are still fantastic. I mean, Mine Haze is getting really good recognition in the world, but they've expanded the Mine Haze brand all over. They actually collab with Ernie Ball, combining my love of music world to my love of alcohol with their own IPA mixture there, and it's got the funk. I freaking love it, and the imagery is so freaking cool. It's called Electric Eagle. Look it up, find it. If I remember to do it, I'll put a picture of it. If I remember to do it, I probably won't. But that one is so. I thought it was gonna be a temporary one. I think it is temporary. They've restocked last time we went there because we bought the last 4-pack the first time we went. We went back again. I saved one of the cans. I like collecting cool beer cans because they're cool. Clean them out and just put them on display. But we bought them. It's got the funk. It's delicious. They also have Hopnosis, which is good. They have freaking double Hopnosis, which still have some cans of that. That stuff is fantastic. And let's just go over a couple more notes I have here. For Firestone, I love the imagery. I love the culture. They basically do all the cultures I love. Music culture. They have a custom Fender in the shop. A lot of their imagery is around music. They're a constant sponsor at festivals and everything here. They also do have some sports stuff. They used to have an 805. Go away, window security. No one cares about you. They used to have an actual little mini restaurant at the Oracle Park for the Giants. It's not there anymore, sadly. It was only, I think, for one. It probably just a temporary one-season deal. But that place was awesome. They also motorcycles. For those who don't know, this channel was originally going to be a motovlog channel. I love motorcycles. I need to get back into riding my bikes again. But I love motorcycles. There's some things going on. The reason why I'm not riding my bikes, but not what you think. It's money involved. For those who aren't here before, too, remember I was out of a job for half a year and still fixing some things left over from that penance. But motorcycles, the beach life. They're in Central California. They're right next to one of the biggest beaches, Pismo, and that is the beach of beaches around here. And they're very involved in beach life, and just more and more stuff like that, and it's all stuff that I love. So I just gravitate to the imagery. Their colors are black and white. They leaned into the 805 imagery a lot because that's what made them famous. And it's kind of funny because 805 wasn't even originally supposed to exist. It wasn't supposed to be the main beer. The main beer was supposed to be the DIPA, the double IPA they were doing. But one day the brewmasters, made made a little blonde ale, and they said it's not going to be that great, and then it became the biggest beer in California. Because if you ever find yourself at Firestone, I highly recommend taking the tour. It's not very long. You can pay for the longer. Oh, actually, you can pay for the longer one, or you get lucky. I hope we don't get somebody in trouble for this one, because they had a day where it's actually kind of quiet. It's usually a pretty packed tour. We took the tour. We got done with the main tour. She went, you know what, guys, we're gonna take you, because we actually did the tour twice because she was bored. The first time it was normal length. The second time we did the tour, she said, I'll take you on the extended tour, and went to the back rooms and everything, and it was quite fun. It was cool. You got to see some cool. They actually got some cans from that as well. They actually has cans they cut off the top so you can use them as planters and stuff. I have those. I have a cool tall Mind Haze can and a couple other ones. They're little lemon. They're not seltzers, but they're not beers. Like in between. I have a couple of those. And hey, I just touched you. Why'd you turn off on me? I need to change that timer. But I don't think it can be argued with this. 805 is probably the easiest, most appropriate beer for any occasion. It's perfect for beer pong because it's light enough where you can still drink enough of it and not get too messed up, but it still tastes because you're not punching yourself. It's refreshing. It's good on a hot day. It's cool for sporting events. It's just all around. It's, for me, it's the best beer for every occasion. And it just happens to come from my favorite brewery, Firestone Brewery, out of Paso Robles, California. And yes, it is from the same family that owns Firestone Tires. If you don't know also about the history of Firestone, you know they're brothers. Well, not brothers, they're partners. Sorry, I got messed up. The brothers are the Firestone guys. The Firestone family name is one's a tire, one does the brewery. One guy's from England, one guy's from America. That's why if you go to the restaurant, you go order the chips either. Sorry, I just said chips because, well, they call them chips on the menu because they either do French fries or chips, which is basically just thin cut fries or wedges. And I mix it up every single time because they're both delicious. And just, guys, check out the history. It's awesome history. But yeah, Firestone Brewing is my favorite brewery in California and currently in the world. I love them. And if you haven't tried them, how did my mic get turned around? Whatever, doesn't matter. Oh, I'm going to be buying a new quick release to make this easier because I have to keep taking it off and back the arm, and it's a pain in the ass. But I digress. I love Firestone. I highly recommend you check them out if you have not done so yourself. Check out all the breweries I've talked about here too. I'll fire off not honorable mentions, but other breweries that I do love. You know, Drake's Brewing. I love them too, even though one of their beers got me very sick because it was way thicker and stronger than I thought it was good. Not stronger, it was just like, I don't know why that one, it didn't like get me drunk messed up. It just messed me up. It was good, but I finished it and it was an ale. Probably just drank too much of it. And I also smoked a cigar. Maybe the whole thing just really messed me up. They also had a stout that my dad got that was dark enough and thick enough to block out the sun. I have to go. I haven't gone there in a long time. You see Drake's all over the place though. There was a local one that was here to Morgan Hill. We're not going to talk about them too much because they've kind of drawn the ire of locals here of El Toro Brewing Company. Fun fact, I used to work there. That was my first job. I worked there for 4 years. Yeah, they're not around anymore, which is a damn shame because they were a local staple. Family meetings there. When I was a kid, we would go there and we'd go to the brewery itself, visit there with my friends while the parents drink, and then we became friends with the family there. We have gatherings at Mom and Pop's house next door to the brewery. Sadly, Pop passed away a couple years ago, and Mom's not doing so great. But yeah, then they opened up the restaurant, the brew pub. I got my first job there, worked there for a couple years. Fast forward to the future, shenanigans happened and they disappeared. And it's been a few years now, and somehow that building is still there, unoccupied. No one's bought it, reopened it. So the remnants of El Toro Brewery are still just there staring us in the face. It's just all the stuff's still in the windows. It looks like it hasn't been touched, and it's kind of freaky because it's just there. It wasn't a COVID thing. It was not a COVID thing. It's just there, staring menacingly. Hopefully someone buys it eventually. Hopefully a brewery buys it. And I kind of wish we have another local here one called Kelly Brewery. They're great too. I kind of wish they would have bought it and fixed it up and then did something with the restaurant and everything in that spot. But Kelly Brewery has a cool little spot as well already. And obviously, guys, there's much more. Obviously, over in Paso, also there is a Barrel House. They're great. They have one of my favorite, also easy drinking IPAs. Their mango IPA. Whew, on a hot day, that's the best. It's the absolute best. Stone Brewery. They're down by LA. They're freaking sick as hell. Feather Falls up in Orville at one of the casinos. They're based on the casino there. Feather Falls Brewery is amazing as well. Guys, there's too many. There's so many. And they're all, for the most part, really, really freaking good. And I recommend you try them out. Mainly try the ones I had on my list. But guys, this has been Anything But Nothing. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't done so, please, consider dropping a follow on any place you listen to your podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, anywhere you check these out. Please consider dropping a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing. I have the goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers. We've just finally crossed 3,000 subscribers as of the other day. Thank you all so much for there. You can find me at Twitter at Fenrirock. You can find me at Instagram at Fenrirock7. You can find me at any socials. Just type in the word Fenrirock and I will more than likely pop up. But not on this, like I said, on Instagram, I'm Fenrirock7 because some dude bought years ago. He bought the Fenrirock name. I didn't buy it. He used it and will not let it go. So follow me on the spots. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find me in all those many, many places. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. You've been great. I've been Fenrirock. And until next time, take care, drink responsibly, and most importantly, have fun. What's
my buttons?
What I was about to say? What say you, Deadpool? But you threw it off, you jerk.
Shrug emoji?
I agree.